Welcome into this edition of the Ballin' Out Podcast. I'm your host, Jordan, here with my main man, Billy. How you doing today, buddy?
Hey, I'm doing great, man. How about yourself, man?
Buddy, I'm good. We're gonna talk about some highlights of the UTEP game. Ahead to going out to Nashville, aka Neyland West, and see what happens this weekend, buddy. I wanted to say it's good finally meet you face to face Saturday. That was cool. The boys enjoyed it. Got to take the boys down to Neyland for a week for the game this weekend, and had a blast with it, man. So looking forward to doing it again here next year. I hate that was the last game of the year in Neyland, maybe.
Hey, you said maybe, but hey, there's still a chance.
That's it. Well, we got another episode planned for that too. So let's just dive right into it, man. Offense come out sluggish, buddy, against a bad UTEP team. Just didn't seem to have it together there for a quarter. Didn't put anything on the board. It just wasn't fun to watch there for a quarter. It was brutal, actually.
Oh man, it was kind of hard to watch it that first quarter, man. I mean, I was in and out the game because I was a little bit overwhelmed with my wife wanted to go upstairs and stuff, and had to bite the bullet on that to go up the elevator. And gosh, when I got up there and I realized the score was 0-0, I was like, hold on, what's going on, guys?
Yeah, man, they just seemed out of sync. It was awful, man. But I mean, defense played great first quarter. I mean, they always come to play, man. It don't matter what the situation is, where we're at. They always come to play. They look great, man. I mean, Jamal McCoy had that beautiful interception on that first or second drive for UTEP. Couldn't remember which one, but he had a great interception there. I mean, looked like the ball was meant to go to him. Is what it looked like. He played it so well. I do want to give UTEP credit, though, man. They come out ready to hang with us for a quarter anyway. They just didn't have the horses in the stable to run with us, you know?
Well, I'm glad they didn't, man. I mean, I'm just glad we did what we were supposed to do, is go out and just put up the points, get the starters out, and get ready for next week.
Yes, absolutely. Defense, though, man, you can't say enough about them. I mean, they pitched a shutout. It don't matter who you're playing. The shutout's hard to get. Period. It don't matter. But UTEP, man, that first quarter, I'm not gonna lie to you, I was sitting up there in double G, man, and I was like, man, this is not good. We hadn't scored a point, and they kept us in pretty bad field position for the whole first quarter. I mean, I don't think we started a drive outside our own 15 or 20.
No, we didn't. I mean, you're talking about quick drives. I mean, 3 and out. The first drive, and then second drive was like 5 plays or something. I mean, UTEP came out with a great game plan, man. Everybody's going to do us like that the first quarter, man. They're going to give their all for us. I mean, we'll probably see that exact same thing this weekend.
Guaranteed, man. They had 2 plays though that I want to point out that was perfectly executed. UTEP did that trick play on the throwback. Man, they had it set up perfect. It went left and then student body right back on the throwback, and they were gone. They weren't gone, but they got a pretty good amount of yardage out of it. And then that pooch punt by the quarterback on 4th down, dude. I haven't seen that play since Moses wore short pants, but it worked perfect. Yeah. Perfect.
And of course, I mean, those are things that you practice for, man. They're seeing that this year, and the guys were just off guard with that. And I'm like, you're supposed to be ready for that all the time, and it kind of made me mad on defense when I saw that. I'm like, really, guys?
Right. No, absolutely, man. But hey, they got the shutout. They done what the defense done what they needed to do. Both, I mean, it's hard to say both sides didn't with the way the score was. But second quarter, we finally got going on offense. Finally, thank the Lord. It took forever. I knew I had to run one of the boys to the concession stand, and I kept hearing Vols first down. It seemed like it just kept going. First down Vols. And then finally DeSamp runs one in, and he kind of had a disappointing day. I ain't gonna say it wasn't disappointing. It was they played it smart. They didn't get him hurt. 71 yards, but he's still an SEC leading rusher by a lot.
Yeah, I mean, we executed after that drive, man. I mean, it was all over then. I mean, we came out, 4 straight drives with nothing. And, the fifth drive, we came out 71 yards, and we scored. Like we should have did the first quarter, at least get it 21 points, but it worked out perfect, man. Gosh, I just wish they'd come and give us that the first quarter.
I know, man. They could have hung 75 if they would. They'd have hung 75 if they would have. Next drive by UTEP, though, come out first drive in the second quarter, fumble caused by the defense. Man, dude, I'm telling you, that defense, it seems like it don't matter who they're playing, and that's a good thing. They're an absolute highlight reel waiting to happen. Just, I mean, whatever they get, and they don't care. They're stingy. They're stingy. I love it.
And that's what you love in the defense, man. Don't give up much. I mean, you may bend, don't break.
Absolutely. And then the second touchdown for the Vols, Nico does a little bit with his legs, runs like I'm telling you, dude, that boy runs like a damn gazelle. Like a damn gazelle. It's beautiful to watch. Them long strides, and he's gone. Yeah, that ended up getting called back on if I'm thinking right, pass interference call, offensive pass interference, first one of the quarter. Anywho, capped it off with a touchdown pass to Squirrel. It was 4 plays, 36 yards, so that was good. I think that was Squirrel's either first or second touchdown on the year. I want to say maybe it was second.
I mean, hasn't been many, man, because I haven't heard Squirrel too much this year, other than injury.
Yeah, that's true. He's been playing kind of banged up this year, so, but it was good. That was a good game for a lot of the wide receiver guys to get right and, maybe get a little confidence about them. Peyton Lewis, he comes in on the third drive of the quarter for the Vols, spells DeSamp, goes back on he had a good run, man, and it goes back on the second offensive pass interference of the quarter. Jackson Ross pins UTEP pretty deep there, and they didn't do much from there. Boo just about got him a punt return though. 2 of them actually. He had 2 that should have been 6, honestly.
Easy.
That first one, very first one right there, if he would have, instead of cutting it back against the grain, if he would have just made that move to the left side of the field, he's gone. He's still running. But, I think I'm going to go ahead and throw this one out there. He's going to get one this week. He's going to get one in Nashville this week. It could get ugly. It could get ugly, but I got a feeling, and we'll dive into it here in a bit. Vandy will give us their best shot. Kind of like you said, we're going to get everybody's best shot. They'll give us their best shot, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Follow that up, like I said, the UTEP punts deep in their own territory. Boog almost gets another one. Returned it to the red zone. We capped that drive off with an Ethan Davis touchdown. 5th drive, quick hitter, ends with a Brew touchdown. First of 2 of the game. And that was Brew's first of the season. I know that for a fact. And that's crazy to me because that's the most sure. He's the most sure-handed guy we got.
Yeah.
Open up the second half with a Brew touchdown, number 2. And basically from there, man, it's the run game show, man. Peyton Lewis, P-Lou, had 2 second half touchdowns. Had a Cam Seldon sighting, the final score of the game. That's one there. And I'm gonna ask you, maybe you know something I don't know. Why have we not seen him more this year? I know he's been hurt.
I mean, it has to be practice, man. It has to be. He can't be grading out well or something. I mean, because he's a great athlete.
Yeah.
I sit on the field. It has to be something.
Yeah, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense because, I mean, you can look at the kid. He's built like a damn thoroughbred, son, and can run like one too. He's a hoss. But, you got Peyton Lewis out here. Peyton's just a freshman? Sophomore, freshman, and then you got Deshaun Bishop. He got hurt earlier in the year. Hadn't seen much of him after that. It's just it's mind-boggling because we've got a lot of great depth in that running back room, and Cam just don't seem like he can work his way up in there. It's kind of bizarre to me. But that being said, Vols pitch the shutout, get it 56-0. On to Vandy, buddy. Let's dive into that just a little bit because it's time. We always like beating up on little brother, little sister, whatever people want to call them.
Well, this should be a very interesting week with Vandy. You got the quarterback already running his mouth.
Yup.
He comes out and says something. I mean, I understand. I love his passion, man. I love the kid's passion, man. You don't have those kind of quarterbacks anymore with that kind of grit that just do what it takes to win the ball game. He's a nasty kid. He wants to get dirty.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to respect that kind of game.
And I mean, but his statement this week that I saw where he said, "We're playing this game like it's life or death."
Okay. All right.
Quarterback going against a defense that loves to take first-team quarterbacks out.
We've had 2 Actually, the UTEP guy, Jalen Milroe, finished the whole game against us. Well, Carson Beck, let's say 3. It was 3. Finished the entire game against us all year. He better get ready for an ice bath. I hate to tell it, because I'll tell you what, as we've kind of gotten deeper into the schedule, James Pierce Jr. has really came alive, and buddy, he's been laying some wood out there on some of these sacks. I mean, he plastered poor old Pickles. I mean, just plastered him.
Yeah, he's finally getting his groove, man. I mean, the scheme hasn't been for him like it normally was last year. And plus, he don't have to be the man this year. You know, he can go out and just play ball and not expect to make every play. But you have to make every play. I mean, I love his tenacity, man. He's been doing great, man. These last 6, 7 games, he's been the kid that I thought he can be.
Yes.
As long as our defensive tackles are doing what they're doing, man, it's hard to beat this defense.
It is, man. It is. And, we talked about it there, the Miss State and Kentucky, they kind of found something running the ball against us that we were kind of like, oh, okay, that's not good. They've sort of fixed, they've done a good job over the last couple of weeks of fixing whatever it was that was there. I don't think Vandy's got the horses to do that to us in the run game. I mean, Vandy, let's talk a little series history and then we'll dive on into Vandy here. We lead the series all time, 80-32. That's another one kind of like the Kentucky game, man. You and I'll be long gone before that series is even close. Vols are on a 5-game winning streak. Vols owned the longest in the series at 22 from 1983 to 2004. Longest losing streak for the Vols is over 100 years ago. 1 to 1913 at 9 games. They haven't beat us like we've beaten them ever, for one, but their longest win streak was over 100 years ago. Hang your hat on that, Vandy. We've won 7 out of 10 in the series, and we're 40-21 all time in Nashville. The only thing about this game, man, to be honest with you, that kind of scares me, this year Vandy's been giant killers. They played Texas tough. They beat Alabama. We went to LSU, played LSU tough. Of course, LSU kind of went limping into that game, so it kind of is what it is, but with Vandy, I don't feel like you ever know exactly what you're going to get. We could go out there, they could play us like they played Alabama. Of course, that was a perfect game for them almost. I mean, they didn't, I don't know. Just one of those things that you got them running their mouth this week. Clark Lee even said something like they weren't even worried about losing to LSU. They were like, we're going to get ready. We're going to go to Tennessee and this, that, and the other. Well, you're already going to Tennessee. We're going to get ready to beat Tennessee is what he said.
I'm still not worried about it, man. I mean, it's still Vandy, man. I mean, I know they're going to come out and play their hardest. This is going to be probably the best game they try to play. But this is too much on the line for the Vols to even give this team a chance to compete with them this weekend.
Absolutely.
Game where Hyper's offense is going to have to come out and not even attempt to allow this defense to slow them down.
Yeah, absolutely.
Stretch the field this weekend. That's Vandy's weakest point is their DBs.
Yes.
Their run is okay. They've been doing a good job of stopping the run with some of the guys. But when you wear them down, they quit.
Yes.
That's what we got to do. We got to wear them down, punch them in the mouth early. Let's not wait till third quarter, second quarter to wake up and put up points. We got to come out and get up 14-0. And make them like, oh, these guys are the truth.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really and truly, man, that's when I say it kind of worries me. It's set up. We sleepwalk through first quarters of noon games. We do, plain and simple. We saw it last Saturday. We've not had very many of them this year, thankfully, but we do sleepwalk through them. And this is one that I don't feel like we can afford to sleepwalk through a quarter. Maybe we might get away with it for a couple drives, but in a game like this, if you let a team like that hang around, they're going to hang around. And they'll figure out a way to make a play that you're like, oh, shit, this is going to be a ball game, But you said it best, man. And it's simple. Win and you're in.
Win and you're in. I mean, that's point and blank simple right there. We can't take this game for granted, man. I mean, you lose, there's no chance you got it anyway. I mean, they're already trying to put you out right now with 2 losses.
Yes. I mean, it's just got to win and you're in, and we're good to go. That being said, let's talk a little bit about the offense. It kind of like as you said earlier, as their quarterback goes, Pavia, man. He's gritty. but he likes to muck games up. If you can, he likes to run. He likes to he likes to try to control the ball. So what I'm going to say is we contain him. It's done before it even gets started. They average 27 points a game, 142 rushing yards per game, 3.8 yards a carry. They got 15 rushing touchdowns on the season. They get 187 passing yards per game. So they're not lighting it up. They're not. Of course, I'd be surprised if I ever said that in my lifetime, to be honest with you. 13 yards per catch, 7.8 yards per attempt. They've got 17 passing touchdowns and 3 picks on the year. 16 of those passing touchdowns have come from Pavia. So let's see what we can do with him. I'm not rooting to necessarily knock the boy out, but let's rough him up a little bit.
Yeah, well, you're right. I mean, he's a good quarterback, man. I mean, he does a lot of good things to protect the ball, man. He does not turn the ball over, man. He's a very good. I mean, I'll give it to the kid, man. You know, with the right opportunity, he may get a chance to go play next season in the NFL because he's one of those quarterbacks, man, where he don't make mistakes, and that's what you want in a quarterback. Kind of got that Russell Wilson type syndrome, you know what I'm saying? Where he gets the job done. It doesn't look good, but it works.
Yeah, it's not sexy, but it gets the job done. They average 329 total per game on the season. 44% on third down conversion, 65 for 147, 58% on fourth down. They've only went for it 12 times on fourth down this year, so they're 7 for 12. In the red zone, they've got 26 touchdowns. They've made 38 trips. They've scored on 35 of those, but they've got 26 touchdowns, so that's good for 68%. They also, this was interesting to me too. They either jump out early. Of course, now I didn't break it down by game here, but they outscore their opponent 64-45 in the first quarter. And then in the fourth quarter, this one's kind of astonishing to me. They have outscored teams this year 94-54 in the fourth quarter, like just total over the whole season. So they're starting good. They're finishing strong. There's one quarter though that it seems like they fall apart, and it's the second quarter. The scoring margin's not as great as it is in the other two on the bookends. You know, here's one too though. They shoot themselves in the foot quite a bit. They are penalized 49.8 yards per game on offense. So yeah, you know, you put a team like that out there and you put them in bad field position and keep them to where they can't really open up their playbook a little bit. Yeah, with a defense like we got, we're good. We'll be just fine. Defensively for Vandy though, 1 point a game, so they're just barely getting by. 123 rushing yards per game, 13 touchdowns, and they give up 4 yards a touch, which that's good because DSAMP averages about 5.5 or so. 36.6 passing yards per game, 17 touchdowns. Excuse me. So sort of to your point there, their secondary's weak. That's where we got to attack. Let's get some of these wide receivers out and let them run, son. Let them go. Let the horses out of the stable. They give up 7.9 passing yards per attempt, 11.7 per catch though. So they let you run a little bit afterwards. Offenses convert at a 45% clip on third down, 61 for 135, 7 for 13 on fourth down. So they give up at 54%. A red zone defense, 25 for 31. So they've had 31 trips to the red zone on them, only giving up 17 touchdowns. I want to say that's kind of stingy. I mean, that's right at 50% almost. You know, I don't think they played a run game like we've got this year though, and I think that we'll hit that number dramatically. So
it'll be a good game, man. I mean, I don't want it to be a good game, but stat wise, you know, Vandy do a lot of good things to stay in the game, man. And like I said, they played great against every top ranked team they played.
Yes. 12-point spread this weekend. You think Vols cover?
I mean, it should be an easy cover. You know, I still don't like that spread. That's one of the spreads that never get covered. I was expecting this to be a little bit more, but when it's low like that, that's when it kind of scares me when it comes to that. I mean, I don't want it to be a one-possession game, but I still think we should win at least by 2 touchdowns.
Yeah. I mean, I think if nothing else, we go out they play us within a possession or two most of the game. They may even come out and jump on us early because, like I say, we sleepwalk early. We sleepwalk through the first portion of the game usually on the road early. But yeah, I'm kind of with you there. I think we may cover, maybe one of those backdoor covers. You and I always talk about that late one that puts us over the top. I do want to talk about one thing though. That my dad and I were talking about this on the way back from the game the other day. Do you realize the man's only lost 5 times in Neyland since he's been the head coach? We're 20-1 over the last 3 seasons at home.
It's I mean, that's the way it's supposed to be, man. I mean, you're supposed to win your home games, no matter who you play there. It should be, I'm not going to say automatic, but it should be more than 50% than less.
Well, that was how it was back in the day when you were there. You guys never lost to Neyland. I mean, it was seldom, like seldom. Never.
No, I only lost to one team in Newland.
It was Florida, wasn't it? Yeah, I can't remember the exact number I come up with, but I can tell you the losses were 2 to Georgia, Ole Miss, Pitt, and who was the other one? I had it wrote down. I can't remember who it was, but two losses to Georgia, 1 to Pitt, 1 to Ole Miss, and then there was another one. Who was it that year that got us? I can't remember who it was that got us that year, but who? I wish I could figure out. I wish I could remember who it was. But either way, it don't matter who it was. Five losses at home over 3 years or 4 years, and 1 over the last 3. He's 20-1 at home. Like, it's going to tie into the next episode a little bit, but and we'll talk about it. But that gives me hope that if we host that first round of the playoffs and we make it in, we go into the second round.
That's going to be big time, man. And I hope they don't make the ticket prices crazy.
Man, me too, dude. Me too. Because it's going to be wild regardless. But we need some of the young bucks up in there to get it hype. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like if they get it too high, it's going to be a bunch of gray hairs and blue hairs and leaf lookers in there and sitting on their hands and asking the rest of us to sit down. So, buddy. That being said, let's end this one with the Go Vols. And actually, before we go, score prediction.
Oh, let's see. Spread. Let's see. It is go. I'm gonna go 34-10.
I'm gonna say it's supposed to be cold this weekend, maybe a little rainy. I'm gonna say we get it done 28-15. 28-15. Something wild. 4 rushing touchdowns for DeSant. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. We'll end this one with the Go Vols, and we'll be back here shortly with talk some playoff football, man.
Sir, Go Vols.